Hey, welcome to the I Hate to Tell You This podcast. This is episode 11, and we are talking real life, godly advice. And today we have a guest with us. This is Melody Witt. She is one of the people in our inner circle, and we are excited to have her with us to talk about grit today. But before we do, we are going to give our book recommendations. Leslie, go.
Okay, my book pick for this week is You Are More Than You've Been Told by Hosanna Wong. This is the second book I've recommended by her. She's great. And this one is just more about finding your identity in Christ and not doubting yourself. You are more than you've been told. It's great in audiobook. The author reads it, but really in any format.
She's good. I like her. Melody?
The book I would recommend is Get Out of Your Head by Jenny Allen. We're actually doing it in a Bible study, a life group here at Movement Church at Nicole Sinnett's life group. But it's all about, we get into these spirals in our minds and being able to stop those thoughts processes in a healthy way. And it's really good. I love it because,
I like Jenny Allen.
Yeah, anytime you're getting in your own head, it's just like, hey, it's teaching you different steps to get out of those anxiety or panic or anything. Yeah, it's really good.
Mine is Let Them Be Kids by Jessica Smart. So for all three parents that watch the podcast, this is for you. But it's really good if you do have kids or you want to have kids. Just talking about bringing back real childhood, getting kids off the screen and letting them experience what every child needs to, so they are being built up as humans that will have grit of all things. But it's really good, and I did it on Audible, and the reader is not the author, but I really like it. She's super sarcastic, and it's very funny. So, all right, Melody.
That's me.
Melody Witt.
Hello.
What would you tell your 21-year-old self?
Oh, so many things. So many things. In an ungodly way, I would tell them, don't marry somebody that you've ever had a restraining order on. Okay.
Solid advice.
Just saying, that's great. That's some advice I would give. But in reality, just go through it. Everything that you're going through is what's going to make you who you are today. So if I didn't experience any of the things that I experienced in life, I would be a totally different person. So embrace it and work through it and just keep going.
It's good.
All right, tell us briefly your story. What life events led you to be here where you are today?
Oh, what a life.
So many.
I grew up in the church. My mom and dad are still together. They've been married 50 years. Happy anniversary this year for 50 years. Grew up in the church, loved church. I turned into a wild teenager, as most do. Became a statistic. I had my daughter. I got pregnant with my daughter in high school. Eventually ended up marrying her dad when she was about 2. We stayed together about 4 years, got divorced. That's when I ended up joining the military. But the beginning part of my military career, I kept a distance, I guess, from God. I don't want to say I never believed in him or I stopped believing in him, but there was a distance there. And I stopped going to church. I stopped, worshiping. I stopped having godly friends. And so during my divorce is when I joined the military. And it went back and forth, and it just took a really, really brave person in a unconventional way to invite me to church. And I started going back again, and it was God's timing. It was perfect timing, because that was not that I didn't need God through my beginning of my career, but that at that exact moment I needed him. And I went through everything I went through. It was like I just started praying again, and then I got back home because I was away from home, and I got back home, and somebody else, Darius McMillan, he was already a guest on here.
He was our first guest.
So he invited me to church. We worked together, and then I came here and met my husband, and it's been amazing since then. So yeah.
And then you met the greatest friends
in the
entire world.
Greatest friends in the world. I met my husband here. I met, it's just, it's not my beginning foundation, but it's like a whole new foundation for my life.
Yeah,
and so
it's good. All right. Talking about military, let's talk about challenging seasons, moments you felt like giving up, and dive into the whole grit talk.
Okay. So, beginning part of my military career, and I'm not trying, I don't want to bash the military at all, but the military today is very different than when I joined 21, almost 22 years ago. It's very different. And then, so I'm in maintenance, and so being a female in maintenance also definitely changed things. I've been the only girl in a lot of my career, I've been the only girl there. And so I think it definitely changed my experiences in that aspect. Like when I first joined, I got sexually assaulted a lot. I was younger and much cuter, but I got sexually assaulted. I got sexually harassed. I got, and to be able to work through those kinds of things, I had, and that wasn't just like peers, that was like my supervisors. And then as my career started to progress, I got sexually harassed again, and I actually told my supervisor, and they were just like, that's just how they were. And again, I don't want to discourage anybody from the military because I love the military, but it's different now than it used to be. Mm-hmm. That was just like a good old boys club, and I just happened to be the girl that was in there. Mm-hmm. And I mean, even other trialing times, it's just the typical military stuff, being away from home, not being there for my kids when they first went to school, or during Christmas or holidays and stuff, missing a lot of that stuff. And so that was definitely hard to get through. And like I said, it was God's perfect timing. Like when I got invited to church, it was like a week later, something very traumatic happened to my son. And I remember I was in Texas, and I was driving to Florida to go to my ex-husband's house to pick up my son. And I remember like that drive, it was like 12-hour drive, mm-hmm. like is what gave me like peace of mind. Like God was in my heart. I was praying, and God can handle it no matter what your stresses are. I don't know whatever else I'm going to say here, but whatever stress you're going through, God can handle it. Yep. So it's like whether I was screaming, whether I was crying, I was yelling, I was swearing, I was everything, but it was like God gave me that time to calm down, to process my mm-hmm. thoughts, to make them more clearly, to make sure that I wasn't going to act in a sinful way, mm-hmm. Even though I was in my car yelling and cursing, but like that drive gave me that peace of mind that I needed. And I know that was God there.
Yeah. I like the perfect timing thing because, mm-hmm. like you said, you knew about God the entire time. Oh, yeah. You didn't just forget about it, but mm-hmm. He swooped in right at the right time, and whoever that was used them to speak that. And that's the importance of being obedient. I think when God tells you, like, hey, go invite that person to church, or go pray for that person, like, don't miss that opportunity, because it could be a life-changing experience for them.
Oh, 100%. Her name was Brittany. I mean, she was in Texas, and again, very inopportune moment for somebody to invite somebody to church. And then I became really good friends with her mom, ironically. And her mom even told me later, she was just like, she never comes to church with me. She never comes. And so for her to invite me was not just, that was a God thing too. Yeah. Because it not just brought me back to church, but it brought her back to church by inviting me. I'm like, what else is there doing? What else is there to do in this town? There's nothing. And she was like, you can come to church with me tomorrow. And I was like, sure. And we went to church, and her mom was like, she never comes to church. She never invites anybody to church. So it was like, it wasn't just me. It was like God working through her too. And probably all through her mom's prayers, which is just amazing.
She got two birds with one stone.
Yeah, exactly. It was beautiful. It was super beautiful. But thank you, Brittany.
And of course your mom.
And my mom.
Double mama prayer.
Nope. I actually just did a report on that in school. I was like, something that your belief structure, and I was like, there's something about a mom's prayer. There's something about a mom's prayer. And as moms, I know you guys know, it's like you pray for your kids, but there's just something, I don't know if it's like God listens to the mom's prayer more. It's just more passionate. It's definitely coming from the heart, if it's or what it is, but it's just a beautiful thing. And I read it somewhere, and I'm trying to make sure that it's right, because I don't want to quote it completely, but it's like, but there's no woman in the Bible who prayed that didn't get their prayers answered. And so every time I'm reading, I'm watching for it now, and I'm watching a woman pray, but I'm like, I'm just saying.
I have heard that too, and I've the same thing. I'm like, I want to watch now. And
I haven't like reread the entire Bible since I heard that, but I'm looking for it.
We're not 100% that's fact, but it sounds really good.
Sounds awesome.
And I can't wait to find out if it's true.
Yes, it's awesome. I'm looking for it. So.
How many times were you deployed? Do you know?
I think 4, because I've been a lot of places. I've been in the Middle East. But then I got to go to fun places like Rota, Spain, and then through that I went to Portugal, and then I've been to Scotland and England, Qatar, so I've got to go to some cool places and not so cool places, and then that doesn't even count all the crazy places I've been in the U.S., good and bad, but yeah, it's been interesting. It's been an interesting career.
I mean, I imagine there's been a lot of points when you felt like giving up.
Oh yeah.
So when you got to those points where you just wanted to call it quits, what kept you going?
So I know you guys have talked a lot about your circle, and so the beginning of my career, when I wasn't following God the way I should, it was my friends, it was like I might have not liked my supervision or certain people, but it's like I built friendships, and so I had somebody that I could vent to. I had somebody that I could cry to. I had people that were standing up for me that had no reason to stand up for me, you know what I mean, in the midst, and I still look back on that, and I was like, man, that was a God thing, because I look back on them and it was like a couple of them, they were believers back then, and so for them to be able to stand up for me when they saw that things weren't right, and I was trying to do self-reflection, did I do something wrong? Did anything like that happen? Even just one experience, I was working on a machine and there was another person in the back and they welding something, and I was milling something, and they came out, they were like, hey, I need your help, and I was like, give me just 1 second, I'm finishing. They're like, right now, and I run back there, and the whole unit that they were welding was on fire. There was insulation in the doors, so I grabbed the fire extinguisher, I put out the fire. The next day, my supervisor yelled at me, chewed me out, because I put a fire out, because I used the fire extinguisher, and now they had paperwork to do.
Oh my
They were like, you should have gotten the hose from outside. I was like, I would have had to run through the fire. I got in trouble for putting a literal fire out. That's just, and so when I'm doing self-reflection, did I really do something wrong? And I try to see it from other people's perspectives, but it's, sometimes there was no excuse for it. Now I can look back on it, now I know he was going through a divorce, my supervisor at the time, and was just angry at everything. But I definitely felt like giving up. I definitely felt like I wanted to, but again, that circle of friends. And then now that I'm toward the end of my career, it's just different. And as I've been progressing, even in rank and even in friendships, I want to change the military, and I like even how I said in the beginning, the military's changed, but one part about gaining rank in the military is being able to change the path that you went through. If you didn't like it, I don't want to be like, no, I did it, you have to do it. It's absolutely not. I want people to feel safe. I want them to feel comfortable telling me if something is going wrong or if I mistreated them. And that's even happening. Even now, I'm having struggles with even some of my airmen. And it's I want them to feel comfortable talking to me. And if they do, then I know communication can heal it. But I think for sure having a circle of friends is going to help you get through things. And then after you get through it, you're going to be able to use that as part of your testimony later. Right. It's no matter how much, no matter how much things suck, you're going to be able to be I'm seeing somebody go through something I went through. I can go over and talk to them, whether it's here at church and being like, hey, I can pray for you, whether it's at work and be like, what can I do to make this better? What can I do to help you? Because my voice might be heard a little bit louder because I'm loud, but also because I have more rank, it's I can use that to witness to somebody else, unfortunately in today's world, people getting sexually assaulted, sexually harassed, it's I know what you're going through because I've literally been there too, and what can I do to help you? What can I, and it's the same thing even with with moms and with, having kids. It's I can give godly advice as a mom that maybe didn't believe in the beginning but changed their life, and now watching my kids go through almost the same thing. My son stopped being a believer and now he's a believer again, and it's to be able to watch that and tell people just have patience and pray, because that mom prayer is gonna come around. It will. But it's about, I don't want to quit. Why quit? That's part of that grit. It's no, because it's a season, and life is full of seasons, and you're going to go through that season, and it's going to be okay. It sucks at a time, and then it gets better, and then it's going to suck again. And just always know the suck's going to come back, but, but
it will continue to happen.
Just be ready for it.
Yes.
You know?
I like what you said. Like, you're going to use it to help other people because it just hits different. Like, getting advice from anyone is like, okay, thank you. But when you know that person has literally gone through it, now there's a whole other level of trust and faith in what they say. Like, okay, if you do say, you know, everyone's like, you're going to be okay on the other side. But if someone's gone through it and they are now on the other side of it, it gives you a whole other level of hope. And that's really cool. Yeah. Your story's full, I think, of God moving even when you couldn't see it or feel it. Like we like to sing, even when you don't feel it, you're working, even when you don't see it, you're working. Give us a couple examples. Well, you already have given us a couple examples, but other examples of God working, and then maybe you didn't see it till later, or maybe a long time later. I mean,
let's see. Of God working that I didn't realize till later. Give me a second. Right.
How did God use getting pregnant at 16? How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Curveball. Sorry, that's not on the notes.
No, I mean, like, that's not part of my military career, but...
Obviously, that wasn't your number one choice to end up pregnant in high school, but how did God come through for you, and how was he still working?
So, God came through with my daughter because, you know, got pregnant 17, had her. I had to graduate. I graduated high school a semester early, so that was definitely in God's plan because I just happened to have enough credits. Thank you, marching band, because I was in zero period all through high school. But it's simple things like that. Like, I didn't know I was going to be in marching band all through high school, but those credits helped me. And without my parents, I definitely couldn't have done it either. Like, raising my daughter. Like, I look back on that. Like, I was so scared to tell my dad, and I'd already gone to an adoption agency. I don't believe in abortion, so that was like, even then, like, I was like, nope, I won't have an abortion in high school or ever. But I'd already gone to an adoption agency. I'd already flipped through books. I had already picked a parent. I'd talked to them on the phone. I'd already parents picked for her. And then I was like, okay, and I had my bags packed and ready to go, like when I told my dad. And my dad was like the calmest I've ever seen him, because he was just like, well, your sister moved out, she went to school, so we turned that front room into a nursery. And, you know, and just, it blew me away. It blew me away because I thought 100% I was going to get kicked out. My daughter was getting given up for adoption because I knew I wasn't going to be able to handle it, you know. Like, I worked at a video store, which are obsolete now. You know, like,
a what?
A video store.
What's a video?
It was like, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to handle it, and they told me, like, even when my mom got home, like, she already knew. We were all keeping secrets, but she already knew. But it was like, and she was just like, okay, well, you'll have free childcare when you're in school and when you're in work, and you will do something. Yes, you have a daughter now, but you are going to do something with your life. And so, and then I still treated them bad because I was just a terrible child. And then I married my ex and without telling them, and it was a whole mess. And then moved away. I broke my parents' hearts. Like, I look back on that, like, I broke my parents' hearts. Like, when I moved away with Destiny, my daughter's name is Destiny, in case you didn't catch that. But broke their hearts, but I just picked up and left, and, you know, never really thanked them at that time, like they have now, but never really thanked them. And even to this day, like, even after all that I put them through, God works, like, the love of a parent, you know, those feelings that God has given us, the love of a parent. I could call my dad right now. If I picked up my phone and called my dad right now, I'd be like, Dad, I need help. He would be here in 45 minutes, give or take traffic. You know what I mean? Give or take traffic. Yes. He would 100% be here. And I don't know, that's just such a blessing. Like, for sure, like, I was blessed by my parents, 100%.
The thing that we haven't talked about is, like, the grit of parents.
Oh, man.
Like, and just persistently loving their children through any and all seasons and decisions and everything else. Like, the grit of your parents to continue to persevere through that with you.
And that's probably where I got it. I like to think I'm a balance between my mom and dad, for sure. Like, my dad's very, like, authoritative, and my mom's like calm and into music, and you know, and it's like I like to think I'm a good balance between them both.
I think so too.
And which is probably where I get my grit from. Probably my grit more from my dad's side than my mom's side.
Mm-hmm.
But
to see your parents do that.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, without even thinking about it, and
No.
maybe you didn't, like you say, you didn't appreciate it in the moment, but seeing your parents not be like, "You're right, you can't handle this. Let's adopt," or adopt her out, and you figure out your life. They were like, "No, like we're all in this, and we're gonna do it."
Yeah.
They were demonstrating. Great.
Yeah.
Is that the word I'm going for?
They were
Yes, I think that sounds right.
Exemplifying, setting an example,
they
adjectives of grit, and which I think has made you the gritty parent and person that you are today.
Yeah, no, I definitely got it from them. I definitely owe them my life. You know what I mean? Just for everything. Yeah, and I can't imagine not having them as parents, because I can think of a ton of other of my friends' parents that if their child came home and said the same thing that I did, they would have been out. They would have been kicked out.
Which is God's grace. You, like you said, you thought that was going to happen, and I bet even now when they look back, like, I can't believe I did that, but that was God's grace. Working through them too.
Yep. No, for sure.
That's good.
So how would you say your experience, just life experience as a whole, whether it was, you know, getting pregnant in high school, your military career, all of it, how has it shaped you into the person you are today?
I think you have to go through life with a positive attitude. You know, I think being positive is what gets me through a lot of things. You know, I can use the bad experiences that I've gone through as a crutch, or I can use them as a ladder. You know, if I'm not going to wobble or use it as an excuse to not do something more, or not to help the people behind me, like that, use it. You go through an experience, like I said, either to testimony to somebody, to learn from that experience and to grow from that experience, and to have maybe more empathy towards somebody else that's going through something similar. Like, that maybe that I don't know if that's grit, or if that's empathy, or just love, or God's love.
I think it's all of the above.
Yeah,
all of the above. Like, it's just, you're not wasting the pain.
Yeah, you can't. You can't waste the pain.
What good does it do you? It doesn't get you anywhere.
But I think it's a whole, it's a whole mental shift from what, at least culturally right now, is what people are told to do, is kind of like, you're the victim, and you're this way, you can't do this because this happened to you, and it's,
If you're not happy, it's wrong.
Yeah.
That's
so
the message.
I think to reframe that as like, it doesn't matter what happened to me, I'm going to still move forward with my life, live the best life I can in spite of everything that happened, instead of just giving up and being like, well, because all these bad things happen, I'm just going to give up.
Yeah. Are you going to be a victim, or are you going to let it help you become victorious?
Yeah.
And use that for God's grace, use that for God's love, and to spread his love, and to spread just his ultimate, like, redemption, because that's ultimately what you're doing. Like, God went through way worse than anything I could go through.
Right.
And so why, and he didn't complain about it. So why should I complain about it? No, you use it, you grow, you learn from it, and try not to make that mistake again. That's what oh my gosh, what's the word? But that's what I'm casting away sin. I am
Repenting.
Repenting.
This is a fun game. It's like
But that's what repentance is all about, is about pushing away that sin. It's like, no, I don't want to do that anymore, so therefore I'm going to grow from it, and I'm not going to do it. And so when I see myself going down a path that could potentially turn something bad, into something bad, like, I'm not going to put myself in that situation again.
I think maybe a better way to think about all of these things is to say, like, I'm not going to give the enemy the victory.
Yeah.
Because, all of these things, whether it's our own personal sin, someone else's sin affecting us, the evil in the world, just the bad things that's happening, like, we have a choice. Are we going to let the enemy, like, have the final word? Are we going to let the enemy win in this circumstance? Or are we going to, overcome that? Are we going to have grit? Are we going to push through to continue to do what God has called us to do?
And we already know who wins.
Yeah.
We already know who wins. So, like, there's no competition there.
Yeah.
It's why. I'm not going to worry about it, because I'm just going to keep going on. You can go through bad things, and you can either be like Lot's wife and keep looking back and turn into ash, or you can keep moving forward. If you're going to look back, use it to help you progress. Don't look back as a way to...
Yeah.
Right.
to dwell.
I have a song for this.
Okay.
You take what the enemy meant for evil. We're going to do a song episode one time. We keep saying it.
All songs.
Yeah. We'll just keep quoting songs.
That would be fun.
It would be fun. Okay, if someone's listening right now and going through who knows what, and they're just struggling with giving up or doubting or just not finding strength to be a gritty person, what would you tell them?
Find your people. Find a mentor. Pray. I know I already said it. Get in your car somewhere by yourself. Scream, cry, do and say what needs to be said, but then keep moving. Keep moving on. Don't just stop. I mean, if I would have stopped, I wouldn't have all the benefits I have today. You know what I mean? Being in the military for 21 years. Like, if you can't just quit at life. You can't just quit because something bothers you, because there's always those flows, those seasons, those waves. They're going to happen. Keep going. Yep. Let it happen. I had a cool Bible verse and I wanted to say it. Okay. James 1:2 says, count it all as joy when you meet trials of varied kinds. Like, you can take that and you could be upset about it, or you could be like, you know what, God, I know that this is in your plan and that you're guiding me, and I'm going through this for a reason. So help me, open my heart, open my mind, teach me to learn from this. Because I don't know if that's grit. I don't know if I feel like that's grit or not, or if it's just like, hey, I'm like
it's
water.
God-given grit. Yeah.
Like, it's like water on a duck's back. Just let it go. Why is that bothering you so much? Don't let it bother you. Yeah. Move on.
Yeah, well, because, I mean, we talked about in our prep episode for grit, how grit, part of having grit is still pushing forward even though there's obstacles, even though there's failures, even though there's hardship. It's the continuing, to, like you said, to move forward. Yep. And so, yeah, I think that's absolutely grit.
There's an emotional intelligence that goes with it too. And I don't want to steal something I was gonna say I said what I said, but you can't let your feelings control your faith. You can't let your feelings control your actions. Like, your feelings, and that's part of the book I recommended by Jenny Allen. It's like, you're gonna have these feelings, and that's okay. God gave you all those feelings. It's what you do with them that can become sinful. Don't let whatever you're feeling, move past it. Use that grit, move past it, know that it's a season, know that you're gonna learn something from it. Everything you go through can be a learning experience, and you can grow from it.
I think a lot of the research done on grit, maybe that's unfair. I know at least some of the research done on grit is not done by Christian people. Yeah. At least not when they're writing the book. But I find it so interesting because it's like, they're talking about grit, and this is all like self-strength, grit, power through, but like, we're on like a whole other playing field. Like, no, we have God. So like, yes, we have to push through, but it's not just our strength. Here comes God to even push through farther, and
and the people God has put in our lives.
Right, that he makes our burdens light, and, he carries the yoke with us. And, I mean, maybe it sounds mean, but I feel bad for the people that have to have grit without God. That sounds tiring and exhausted. And, that's why God's like, are you tired? Are you weary? Are you worn out? Like, come to me. And then he picks us up, and now we have this godly grit, and it's this whole other level. And I don't think we were ever meant to do it alone.
No.
And thank goodness.
Like I said, even the beginning part of my career and the later part of my career, going through things is totally different. Having God on your side, having that like inner peace. It's like there's a difference between being happy and being joyful. And it's like, you know what, you can I can feel the feels. I can take anything, whatever. Call me any name you want to. Do whatever you want to me, but it's like, it doesn't bother me. Like, you can say,
well, like
I don't
you said,
care.
you know the end result, you know the victory that still awaits, you know the end of the story, so it makes things a whole other perspective. Yeah. Like, this is just what is it? All right, here we go. It's a Bible verse, and it's got grass in it, and a fleeting moment, like
still pastures and the
grass
water
that withers.
But the word of the Lord remains forever.
Life is short. Eternity still awaits.
Maybe we should have had that coffee.
Let's do
This is what we get when we put water in these mugs.
It's usually coffee. Today's water. Forget about it. Let's do like a whole charades episode. All right, I have a message. It's found in the Old Testament. 3 words.
We can't do it. What is happening?
Oh,
All
my
of us in
goodness.
those words. Oh, perimenopause. It's a great thing. Sorry. Delete that part out.
Any final advice about grit?
Take everything as a challenge. Take it as an opportunity. Don't let things get you down. Use trials, tribulations, use them as a challenge to know that you can get through it, because everything you're getting through is going to make you stronger. It's going to strengthen the more you lean on God, it's going to strengthen your relationship with God too. And do something positive about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like I went through all this, and I didn't even talk about this earlier, but even during COVID mission that I was on, it wasn't like a deployment like you asked, but it was like I was working in the mortuary, and I saw did things that I never thought I would experience. And it was just like a different kind of trial for me, you know? It was like, it was breaking me emotionally. And it was like, but knowing that I had people praying for me, and then being able to pray myself and to lean on God and to be able to cry in his arm, you know, I mean, like figuratively, literally, however you want to explain it, like having that is going to make you a stronger person, and do something about it, you know, do something about it. Like I can dwell on it and be depressed for the rest of my life, or I can be like, you know, no, I want to help people going through things, and you know, now look now, and it's like, look at me now, enrolled in school and going back and trying to grow and be something, you know. I think take all your trials, and don't think of them as trials. Think of them as opportunities to learn and grow.
It's good.
Well said.
It's good.
Woo!
Maybe we didn't need coffee. All right, let's do song picks. You want to go first?
Sure. So my song pick, and it kind of goes with everything I've been saying, is called "Do Something" by Matthew West. It's an oldie, but it's a good
yes, that is a good one.
And I just love it. And it's talking about all the corruption that's happening in the world, and they're like, God, why don't you do something? And he's like, I created you, you know. And there's one line, it's like, but I'm sick and tired of life with no desire. I don't want a flame, I want a fire. I want to be the one who stands up and says, I'm going to do something. So I'm going to do something. Like,
I love Matthew
I
West.
love Matthew West,
He's so
too.
inspiring. I've seen him live a couple times.
Yeah, it's an oldie but a goodie. It like
is.
gets me in
It
the heart.
Does it?
All right, mine is Praise Your Name by Corey Voss and Madison Street Worship. This is one that Amanda sent to me. Her love language is sending her friends worship songs.
I love it. She sends them to me, and I like it.
I love it though. In the chorus, it talks about just praising your way through the valley, and I love that. I think it works well with this grit series too. You know, if you find yourself in the valley, in a season of being in the valley, praise your way through it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mine is New Thing Coming by Elevation Worship, and every year I do a word of the year, and my word was new. And so at the beginning of the year, this album had just come out, and I have a theme song for the year too, and I love it. And the Tiffany Hudson sings it, which is the girl who you recommended last week. But got a new thing coming, and it's just encouraging. Yep. Like, no matter what's going on, God still has a new thing coming, because if you're not dead, God's not done.
God's not done.
Always. Love it.
I said what I said.
All right. Is it me? Do I get to go first? All right.
Because you love it so much.
Yes. Okay, I said what I said. Humility is the foundation of lasting motivation.
It's good.
I like that.
It's true. Just read a proverb about humility. What do you got?
There's probably a lot in Proverbs.
There is.
Yeah,
Every 5 verses.
A lot. Gosh, I had so many to pick from. How about, this goes, I think, with yours. Self-control is more important than self-esteem.
That's good. Mine, I did not intend for this to go so well with what you said, but it might be your history, but it doesn't need to be your legacy. But as you were talking, I was like, oh, that's going to go so well with why I said what I said. I don't even have to explain it, because you already, like, pre-preached the message.
Ever since you asked me, I've been, like, writing. Like, when I hear something, I'm like, oh, that's
good. Write it down.
I'm gonna get her to feed me. I said what I said.
There you go. I have a list.
You can just send that to me.
I have a list. I have a little list going.
All right. Well, if you would like to win one of our book picks for this week, comment on our YouTube video with the word grit, and we will pick a winner this weekend and get you whatever one of the 3 books you would like in whatever format you would like.
Thanks for joining us on episode 11. We've got a few more before we take a little winter break because we're pretending like it's fall right now. Even though it's still like 100 degrees. We're calling it fall, but relative. So join us next time, and thank you, Melody, for coming to join us on this one.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you on the next episode of I Hate to Tell You This, Real Life Godly Advice.